Yo, yo, yo. What up, fellow gamers? It's me, the most epic gamer man of all time, Epic Gamer 22. And recently, I've been playing a little game called Ultrakill. And in that game, there's this little level called P-2, Weight of the World. Now, dare I say, this level is hard. Really hard, actually. It only took around 3.5 hours and 321 attempts on my first try. And while some might say I suck at the game, and I have a skill issue, and they might not be wrong, I knew I had to prove myself. I knew I needed to get the P rank. Good thing this level was actually super easy to get the P rank for because, as I said before, I'm an epic god gamer. So if you are struggling, crying in the corner, worried that others will call you out for being bad at the game and for not being a real Ultrakill legend, then fear not. For here is my definitive, decisive, conclusive, ultimate, unconditional, unequivocal, unapologetic guide to P ranking this goddamn hellhole of a level. Now before you even think about doing full attempts, you probably should practice each room on its own. We'll go over each encounter in detail on how I went about it, but just remember that playing this level is a speedrun towards getting Carpal Tunnel, which is so much fun. Oh, and also make sure you practice this guy. I'm sure he won't be any trouble at all. Rolling up to the first room, we are greeted by the mythical band of Weezer. And unfortunately, they heard you talk shit about Ratitude, so now you must die. This room might seem pretty daunting at first, but it can be pretty easily simplified with a few tricks. First, we drop a nuke. Charge up the blue shotgun, release it, and before it hits the wall, quickly switch to the red rail cannon and blast that bitch. It won't do that much for the style, but it will do a lot of damage. After that, take out the SRS and kill one of them with a cannonball, and then deal with the rest of them with the rockets. After 2 are dead, a ferryman will spawn, which is an annoying little shit who moves around way too fast in this tiny ass room. Seriously, this room is probably the size of an average New York City apartment. Luckily, we can utilize our saw gun. If you don't know what that is, you can find it here in 4-4. Probably should get it, although that's coming from the guy who went through all of P-2 on the first try, didn't even know it existed. So yeah, go get it. Throw down some magnets and create a spinning circle of death for anything that enters. This should finish off the remaining big guys and do a good chunk of damage to the ferryman. Remember, coins do extra damage to him, so use those. Now you'll also have to deal with 2 virtues spawning death lasers, but you can't even touch them yet because they spawned outside of the room. Cheeky bastards. So basically the idea is to just get to this room as fast as possible so you can take care of these guys using shotguns and probably the best thing ever in this game, the projectile boost. By shooting the shotgun and then immediately parrying the shells, you can send them flying to give you extra style and do a lot of damage. This is awesome, and I use it quite a lot in this run, so you should probably get used to it. Timing is a bit strict, but with some practice, it should come easy enough. Coming up to this point, you'll be greeted by 2 sentries, a swords machine, and a few little guys. Start by dropping another nuke, and then lay down a saw trap to hopefully kill one of the sentries. Remember, you can shoot the antenna to stop the charge up. Or you can just use the knuckle blaster. I honestly keep forgetting I even have the damn thing. Using our good friend the projectile boost, we can make short work of the rest of the enemies, and that's about it. Wait. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah! It's only the absolute worst part of the level and the reason why this level fucking sucks.
I hope you fucking die!
This room also spawns an invincible mind flare. And the idol is all the way in the next room. So for now, you just gotta deal with this annoying piece of shit following you around. He's got 3 attacks. Shoot ball, fire laser, and teleport behind you to pimp smack your ass. Each one has a distinct audio cue, so make sure you listen out for that. And use the balls to parry for healing, so that you don't die. Basically, deal with the enemies in this room and try to dance around the mind flare, keeping in mind what attack he's doing. On the way to the next room, you'll be stopped in this hallway by another Cerberus and 2 street cleaners. This room sucks. It's basically the first room again, but even more cramped, and you still have the Mind Flayer on your ass. Although, you can also use its attacks to your advantage, as they can hit the other enemies doing a good bit of damage. Apart from that, just, use the rail cannon, charged pistol, projectile boost. Basically, this room is a complete and total crapshoot. Just do whatever you can to hopefully survive and just get the hell out of there, because this hallway is garbage. After that, we get to the worst arena encounter in the whole level, as there's now a sentry, 2 swords machines, and another fucking invincible Mind Flayer. Oh my god, I'm having so much fun with this level. Thank you, Hakita, for making the greatest level on the planet. Use a rail cannon and shotgun to take care of the sentry, then lay down a saw trap to deal a good amount of damage to the swords machines. Using projectile boosts is pretty important here, as you can keep your distance and focus on parrying off those balls to get some health in. After they're dead, 2 Virtues and Maurices will spawn. Deal with the Virtues first. I sometimes like to use the rail cannon on one of them, or on one of the Maurices, it doesn't really matter. But if you're good at bullet hells, this section should feel familiar, as there are 50,000 projectiles flying every which way, and it is an absolute nightmare to deal with. Just stay mobile, keep zipping around, try to get the Mind Flayers to deal some damage for you. After they're all dead, the idols will open and you can finally send these fuckers back into the abyss. Projectile boost, coins, rail cannon, whatever works. Fuck these guys, I just hate them. I hope they die in a fire. Fuck you! Also, don't get caught in their death explosion. That would be really embarrassing if you died to that. Haha, good thing that's never happened to me though, huh? On your way out, grab this blue skull and be content with the fact that the worst part of the level is now over. Heading back to the pedestal, we're interrupted by 2 very large and bulky boys, the insurrectionist duo. And to be quite honest, this is the easiest part of the level. No, like seriously, these guys are kinda a joke. Just set up a saw trap, rail cannon them, projectile boost, whatever. Make sure when he jumps to look and see if he's throwing the head first or just falling. They're really slow walking around and it's pretty easy to avoid their attacks. If he lands on the top here, just make sure you don't jump accidentally into the shockwave. I mean, that's about it, really. You can use the cannonball to stun them for a bit, and it's kind of funny to watch them fall on their ass. And, yeah, that's about it. These guys kind of suck. Placing the skull here, we come to the Blood Tunnel. Oh boy! And you can also trivialize this part with some nukes.
Tactical nuke ready for launch.
Now that we've racked up enough kills for our kill streak, you can throw one down here to hopefully knock the Virtues into the walls, and then pop a Maurice before flying over to the sentry, and let the Maurices do the work for you, and then go back to kill them. Now be careful here, it's really easy to get set flying into the walls or miss a jump and fall to the floor. Another really embarrassing way to die, and I would never ever do such a thing like that, ha ha ha. The second part has 2 Cerberuses, 2 sentries, and another Maurice. Drop another nuke to do a lot of damage, and send the sentries to robot heaven. Then retreat and pull out the cannonball. This should kill one of the Cerberuses, and 2 rockets will take care of the other one. After that, just zip on over and finish off the Maurice. At last, the final room. Also known as the Cyber Grind room, as that's basically what this is. And when I first played this level, this room was an absolute nightmare and I hated it and I wanted to pull my hair out and also uninstall this game. But now, it actually isn't that bad. Throughout all the waves you'll have to deal with this guy, an invincible stalker. He can get kinda annoying as he can sand enemies, meaning you can't heal off them. But you can weave around the outside of the arena, since he is quite slow. Or just send him into orbit with the rocket launcher. The first wave has 2 swords machines, a ferryman, and some small fries. Basically, just stay on the move, use a saw trap at the beginning, Line up that rail cannon shot so you can get all 3 of them. Oh, so satisfying. And then just dance around with projectile boosts and coins. After that, 4 sentries will spawn on the corners, and also a very large and scary abomination of a being. Although, he is invincible, so for now, just ignore him.
We do not care.
Deal with the sentries with shotguns and coins, shoot the antennas to stop the charging, and you can also use the projectiles from the large lad to deal some damage. The final wave has 3 Cerberuses and 3 Virtues. Take the disguise and deal with the Virtues first, and also watch out for the vertical shockwave and projectiles. I swear to fucking God, I died twice flying to a Virtue and then I got hit by a projectile in mid-air. There's no video for this, but you just gotta believe me, it sucks. Make sure this doesn't happen to you. Once they're dead, fall back down to earth and lay down a saw trap using the rail cannon and rockets to deal with the big stone boys. The idol for the abomination will be open, but be wary about breaking it immediately, as everything will probably be sanded by now, and this will be your only time to get a heal in. Just stay on the outside and you'll be fine. After that, break the other idol and tell the stalker to
Kill yourself now!
And with that, we head to the final chamber. Now, before we talk about the bosses, we should probably discuss style. You need a whopping 36,000 style to get the S rank. And you also gotta do it in 10 minutes and 20 seconds. Although style is probably the harder thing to get in this level, there's been a few times where I would have gone overtime if I survived, which I did not. There's also a few times where I got the coveted ass rank.
I got ass.
So yeah, getting enough style is critical. Here's some guidelines on how much style you should have at each part. After the first room, around 3,000 to 4,000 is good, 8,000 heading into the double mind flare room, and 13,000 to 14,000 leaving it, 16,000 going to the blood tunnel, and around 29,000 to 30,000 when going to the bosses. If you get to around 33,000 when you get to the big man of the hour, then you should have enough, provided you don't get your ass handed to you. And if you go into the Panopticon fight with around 7 minutes on the clock, then you should have plenty of time. Speaking of which, it's cube time. And this guy shouldn't be that bad. Use the saw trap, make sure you hit him on the side and not the bottom, otherwise the saws will be useless. Then charge up the green shotgun to kill the orbs in one hit. Don't overcharge it, because then that will hurt yourself. His attacks are pretty easy to dodge, just a giant laser, bunch of yellow projectiles, and a super slow black hole. But do not get complacent here just because it's easy. If you die here, that would super duper absolutely suck. And it's such a good thing that I have never ever died to Panopticon. That has never happened.
No! God damn it!
When he goes to try and heal for the first time, the fight will be over and the certified hunk of a man will begin to break out. You can use this time to get some projectile boosts in to get some extra style. And then it's time for the final battle. Sisyphus Prime. The man who towers over you, instantly hits puberty in his second phase, and will absolutely crush your ass in 3.2 nanoseconds. And he also has very nice ass. No, but seriously, this guy took over 2 hours to beat on my first run, so practice is essential. Even after I got to the point where I could beat him every 5 to 10 tries, he is still very capable of ruining your entire run. So, be prepared, basically. His attacks are mostly vocalized, so listen for those. Also, at the beginning here, you can throw up some coins and shoot them with the rail cannon, performing ultra ricochet shots. It deals a lot of damage and guarantees you get a full heal if you don't get it off the cube man.
Indeed, I have slept.
Oh my god!
You can't escape.
Means he strikes a cool pose and then teleports towards you 3 times to try and send your ass to the upper room. Dash away from the first one, then slide around to avoid the other ones. The last stomp is parryable. Use this to get some healing in, and after this attack, he also has a brief pause, so you can use this to set up a saw trap or do whatever. Although, be careful, this pause is not in phase 2, and also there's a shockwave to deal with even if you do get the parry.
Destroy!
This attack sucks, to be honest. He comes at you and does an uppercut, and then he spawns some sparkly projectiles that actually explode, so don't stand in them like a dumbass. You can parry right before he spawns the glint, but I find that to be pretty hard, so instead just make sure you avoid it by dashing away or whiplashing to him and hopefully get some healing.
Be gone!
Sisyphus gets right up on your ass and proceeds to clap your cheeks, creating a massive vertical shockwave. This attack is easy enough to dodge, just dash to the side, but when mixed in with other attacks back to back, it can get quite hard to keep track of. You can parry right before he slaps his hands together, though it might be easier to just avoid the attack. And also in the second phase, the parry does not interrupt the shockwave, so keep that in mind.
This will hurt.
The easiest attack, he stands still and charges up a massive explosion, which would hurt a lot, but the parry window right before the explosion is quite lenient, so just do that instead. Although, if you're far away from him, it's better to probably just avoid the explosion rather than try to rush in and get the parry and risk taking a lot of damage. In terms of other attacks, he can also do a roundhouse kick, another kick which you can parry, a series of punches, and finally a ground slam, similar to Minos Prime. With these attacks, you just gotta dodge them. Stay mobile and don't get caught standing still. Use sliding instead of dashing all the time to save some stamina. Stamina management is super duper important, especially in phase 2 where he just does all these attacks without any breathing room. After the ground slam is a good opportunity to get some projectile boosts in. And basically just keeping your distance from him, trying not to get overwhelmed, avoid on the sides and not dashing backwards, and yeah, praying to whatever god you worship that you'll just get lucky and win. He'll also do a taunt every now and then.
Nice try.
Basically a free window to get some heals in. And admire his beautiful beard. Very nice. The main piece of advice I can give is basically just stay on the move. Listen for attacks and practice dodging each one, and find every opportunity to get some damage in, to parry, get some healing in, whatever. But also, don't get too greedy, as I can quickly spiral into death. I understand that the nerves upon getting here after doing everything else in the level is super high, and trust me, I know the pain of dying when he only had a smidge of health, and I had enough style, and I would have won. But it just takes lots of practice. And a bit of luck as well. Dropping the axe here, this level took 14 hours to P rank. And it was agonizing and excruciating and immensely painful. You could say I was doomed from the very start. But just like my big golden boy over here,
I don't regret a second of it.
So, hopefully this guide was somewhat helpful. And if you're trying to P rank this level for yourself, good luck. And remember to have fun. Anyway, thanks for watching. I just made this video just because I wanted to. And also, this level was hard, but also fun in a way. Yeah. Bye.
Concludes the life and times of King Sisyphus. A fitting end to an existence.
Fuck you! I win! Oh my god. Yes!